presentation by our town director of finance, Paul Adams, on the capital project matrix that he has created with some help from, I think, people such as Bridget Harvey, Director of Communications, and others. Paul, you're up.
Thanks, Tom. Yeah, a few months ago, we posted some information on the website in regard to both historical capital projects and also the current capital projects that we have in the process. Basically, I put together a capital project matrix. Some key elements are the bond resolution amount, gross amount borrowed, the project life-to-date net cost, and the net cost as a percentage of the bond resolution amount. So when you take a look at the historical projects, I have some of the older ones here. That's actually a rec center that we did back in 2010, and then we did town hall renovations and renovations of the court building in 2016. Also includes some work at the rec center. The first four all came in at about 100% of the bond resolution amount. But we also did the sewer plant phase 1 project, which kicked off in 2018. That had a bond resolution amount of $10,500,000. The gross amount we ended up borrowing is about $8 million. We did receive a New York State EFC grant, about 25% of the cost, so about $2.5 million. So ultimately, we spent to date, the spending is about $7.5 million. Ended up borrowing about 71.8%. We're actually spending 71% of the original bond resolution. So I've got a note down there. Really, the net cost just represents the gross project expenditures adjusted for revenue. Generally, as I said, generally the bond resolution amount represents the expected gross spend on the project without taking into account revenue from grants and other sources. So when we do a bond resolution, it can be somewhat deceiving. The current capital projects, I have been updating the information quarterly, so this is as of the end of September. We have the various Sandbar Park projects, which are combined with various ready grants that we received. As you see, the net cost for the first floor is quite a bit less than 100%. We did receive significant grants for these 4 projects. There were actually 8 grants that total about $5 million. So even though the bond resolution was for $9.5 million, thus far we've spent less than 50% of that. Then the 5th one down, the wastewater treatment plant phase 2, that is currently in process. The bond resolution is $500,000. The gross amount borrowed is $35 million, and the total spend through September was $12.5 million. So we're at about 15% there. We also had the T-Bore Road project in process. That was a $7.1 million bond resolution. We spent about $2 million to date. And then there's also the highway building, which is about a $28 million bond resolution. We're currently at a spend of about $11 million at about 41%. So when you total everything together, we're at about 23.6%. So essentially, if you're looking for this information, I just put this slide in here so to make it easy for you to find. You just go to the town's website at webster.ny.gov. You go to our community, capital projects, and then you can choose a summary. You can choose to look at projects that are in process or projects that are complete. So that's about it. So if you're interested, we'll have that on the website and updated each quarter.
Thank you, Paul. Town board members, anybody have questions or comments?
No, it looks good. I think it's good educational.
Yeah.
Because as a newer board member, you see some of these numbers and they can be pretty scary, like, oh
Yeah, it's a lot of numbers and a lot of data, but we just tried to boil it down to the 4 or 5 key elements to look at, just to give you an indication of how it's doing.
It looks good.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Okay. We're on to our next resolution.
Kim? Kim's not here tonight.
I hope not.
Okay, Jenny or Jen?
Good.
Good? Okay. Paul, I like how this is starting to come around. I know it's a work in progress. You know, I know that one of my education things, when I heard bond resolution, if we do a resolution for 10 million,
Right.
I just assume that we're borrowing 10 million.
Most people
But this is trying to show how, that doesn't mean that's what happens. That's just we're making a resolution that we are, we're showing the world that we're serious about this project when we do a bond resolution. But then as you also showed, Maria, and when the project starts and all the things that, the machinations that go into it, if we work smart, we can end up only having to go into debt for 25–30% of the cost of these projects by getting grants and things of that nature. And every dollar less we go into debt is a dollar less, for lack of better terms, that we have to tax in our town tax for the citizens. And the board is pretty conscious about trying to reduce taxes to the citizens.
Yeah, I would emphasize also that the management of these projects comes into play a great deal to keep the costs down.